Let's get into some AFC West non-negotiables. All right, we got football is back. Texans are in camp. The Bears fully reported as a squad today. All the other teams report over the next 5 days. All 32 teams are going to be in training camp. I can't wait to hit the road next Friday to start my training camp tour from, let's see if I can do this off the top of my head, from Detroit to Green Bay to Kansas City to Denver to the Chargers to the Cardinals to the Falcons to the Steelers, the Bengals, the Colts, the 49ers, the Seahawks. Bang! Nailed it. 12 teams, 12 days, inside training camp on NFL Network. Let's do some AFC West non-negotiables. Okay. I've been doing all these in tribute to the Bear, all those Emmy nominations here. Non-negotiable for the Chiefs. They can't make it as hard on themselves as they did last year. I know that's easier said than done, but if you think back, and Patrick Mahomes and others alluded to this when they reported to camp, it was ugly. All the way through the Christmas game where they lost to the Raiders. It was bad. Travis Kelce didn't look like Travis Kelce. He looked like he did not have his legs underneath him. And then he found it in the playoffs. The wide receivers had struggled with drops the whole season. They found it finally in the playoffs. That's a high wire act, even when you have Patrick Mahomes. Just don't make it so hard on yourselves. Limit the unforced errors. They still have the best quarterback in the history of the NFL, quite possibly. For the Raiders, non-negotiables. Non-negotiables, Jason. Non-negotiables.
Oh. Non-negotiable.
Are you awake? You good? For the Raiders.
Well, he's a Raider fan, so I was like,
so he was just listening very intently.
Yes.
That makes sense. Raiders-wise, I think that there's a whole lot here. I think, again, it's cliched to say it, but start fast. I think just with all the Devontae Adams talk that's going to go on if you get off to an 0-2 start or something, you got to come out of the gate. You got to show that you can continue what you did last year with Antonio Pierce as a coach now that he's on a full-time basis. For the Chargers, play defense. I think that's the biggest thing that jumps out to me. And obviously, Harbaugh brought along a defensive coordinator who he knows really well. I have no doubt they are going to be a force to be reckoned with on offense, even though they got massive questions at the wide receiver position. If they can get the most out of that defense, for as talented as they are, for the names that they have, the frontline guys, they've lacked some depth. They haven't played up to that level. Stay healthy on that side of the ball. Become a defensive football team, which is a big part of when Harbaugh had success with the 49ers. Non-negotiables for the Broncos. Bo Nix plays like a veteran, which he started 52 college games. He's effectively a veteran. He's like 24, 25 years old at this point. He's got to come out because what he's got at the skill spots is not ideal at this point. He's got to ramp things up quickly and be their guy.
Non-negotiable.
Now, is Bo Nix, thank you, Jason, is Bo Nix going to be the starting quarterback? We don't even know that for sure. I think that's one of the unique things in this training camp as well. I think that ultimately it's hard to imagine that Bo Nix is not the starting quarterback. Jarrett Stidham, though, has played in that offense. You, of course, got Zach Wilson, which is a really unique project. Jets are paying half his salary. You give up a late-round draft pick. Why not go and get Zach Wilson? I actually like the move for Sean Payton. Give it a shot. Dude was the number 2 pick 3 years ago. He is a really talented thrower of the football. It's been the consistency. It's been the catastrophic errors. That's what's gotten Zach Wilson down. So maybe things break forward. But I think that this is ideally a situation where Zach Wilson sits for the year, where he doesn't have to play. And every day, Sean Payton is on him about the things he can do better. And maybe we see a better Zach Wilson somewhere down the line. I don't think rolling him out there week 1 is likely. And frankly, I don't know that it's necessarily the best thing for Zach Wilson. I think he needs what he was supposed to have last year. Remember, the plan was he was not supposed to play. Yeah, and it was going to be the project for Nathaniel Hackett and Todd Downing and those guys. Just work with him behind closed doors. 4 snaps in, he's on the field. And then with Jarrett Stidham, I think we know what Jarrett Stidham is, and we know what he probably isn't. He can be a functional starter. He played pretty well when he got his opportunity down the stretch with the Raiders. That's why the Broncos gave him like a 2-year, $10 million deal, something like that. They benched Russell Wilson last year, took a look at Jarrett Stidham. He's a fallback. If they don't feel like Bo Nix is ready, that's a pretty good fallback.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.